Hi, I'm Brandon. I love Fast Fridays.
I'm Ryan, and I like Fast Fridays.
I'm Dan, and I despise the fact that I have to say that I despise Fast Fridays. And this is the Deck the Hallmark Podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast. Brandon and friends host his podcast. We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Well, welcome to the first episode of Deck the Hallmark Presents Fast Fridays. It's great to be here talking about the Fast and Furious franchise.
For those of you who popped in on your daily commute to hear about the latest in TV Christmas films, you're getting a dose of Dom. you're getting a dose of the old Fast and Furious movie.
This would be our ask. Can I make a big ask?
Please do. Yes.
If you listen to this show on a regular basis for the made-for-TV movie reviews.
That's right.
And you're like, this show is fun. I have friends that would probably like this show, but don't care about
by the Hallmark movies.
They don't care about the Hallmark or the Lifetime or the whatevers, but they might like Fast Fridays. How about you share this episode with a friend?
Share.
That you think would enjoy it. That's what I want.
We put out, a couple hundred episodes a year, and I can't remember the last time we've asked anyone to rate or review our podcast.
No, at this point,
like anyone.
I assume everybody who wanted to has.
Yeah. We don't ask it, but if you could, if you haven't, go give us a quick
have you left a review?
Have you left a review? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds
all right,
like
Ryan, go ahead and take.
Not over the top at all.
Well, I'll rate and review Fast Fridays early and often. So I'm going to lead the charge on that.
I think it's actually a one-time review situation.
That's all you got to do. Just ping.
I'm going to create some aliens.
Oh, now we're talking.
Fun.
3,000 by episode 3 of Fast Fridays.
Very good.
That's what we're shooting for. 3,000
And then
reviews.
Brand will eat 100 cookies with cars.
That's exactly
we get 3,000 ratings and reviews by the third episode of Fast Friday. Brand Willie, I'll jam him down his throat.
Let's see. I do technically owe Dan some cookies. I mean, I know I've eaten them since then, but not on camera.
And I watched that after you told me about it. I mean, that was uncomfortable. I was unsettled watching.
Yeah.
How long did it take to recover from said incident?
I did not eat. We did that in the evening. I did not eat for 24 hours ish, or maybe 36. But I got to be honest. I did a pizza challenge. Don't have time for that story. That was the worst of it, for sure. And then I ate a ton of steak with Bran one night, and that was
tough. You felt that
as well.
Day, yeah.
So the cookies is actually
just for funsies.
Well,
the steak was just for.
We've told the story on the podcast. We've told the story on the podcast before. The short version is I had about 55 ounces of dry aged tomahawk ribeye, 2 sides, a salad, an appetizer, and a cinnamon roll cheesecake, all in one sitting.
Yeah.
Just because it was dinner time. Like it was a 6 o'clock resi. It wasn't like it was like a late night situation.
No, we both got tomahawks.
Yeah.
Dan ate his tomahawk.
32
I ate
ounces. That's right.
more than I should have of my tomahawk, but still wasn't the whole tomahawk. And Dan, never to let a tomahawk go to waste, said, "Let me polish that bad boy off."
$115 steak, Ryan. He was going to give it to his dog.
He's going to get the bone. Yeah.
And I was like, "You're not doing that." No. So I took one for the team and then continued.
Irresponsible.
But then the cinnamon roll cheesecake was one of the best cheesecakes I've ever had in my life.
I mean, that sounds delightful. Just not in this context.
Yeah. So
I will say.
Cookies is third on the list.
I will say, per Chartable, we're at 2,435 reviews.
Yeah.
Ratings and reviews.
Oh, but that's doable.
Yeah. So we're asking for,
565 reviews.
No big deal. Also, we're still at 4.5 stars, which is nice.
We're more than that.
4.5 stars. 4.8.
Yeah, 4.8. Yeah.
Philly Meg's not helping, but that's fair. That's fair.
Title? What's the title of Philly Meg?
My fast forward gets a lot of use. Fair.
Fast forward Friday.
Yeah, Friday forward. That's exactly right.
This is my thing. Is any criticism about our show
is typically on point.
Fair.
The only time that I would ever have a problem with it is when we were at some point we've all been accused of bullying someone. I get it a lot, but there was a review that said someone wished that you would stop saying that you hated me.
Yes, they were very concerned because
Fran, stop bullying.
Because Dan would say, Dan would be demolishing a movie, and I would say, I hate you.
That's right. Yeah.
And because they listened with children in the car, they did not appreciate that, which is fair. Listen, you shouldn't tell even your bestest of friends that you hate them.
I'm going to start getting bullying claims for bullying the initial concept of this podcast because I willed this into existence.
Right.
So we're all going to get it. I do want to upfront apologize to anyone everyone at Bramblefest was fantastic. Hopefully I have a lot of goodwill with the audience, but I know there are people who hate me for helping make this happen, and I do apologize to you.
Well, Fast Fridays is finally here.
We were going to get there eventually.
Fast Friday, listen.
Yeah.
It would have been year 5, year 25.
Whatever.
It would
and this is what I want. This is what it would mean a lot to me. If somebody was sent this episode and they've never heard our show before, and Fast Fridays is their introduction to Deck the Hallmark, shoot us an email, hello@deckthehallmark.com, and just let us know.
We'll read it on air.
We'll read any email from a first-time listener on the air next week.
First-time listener next week. That's right.
That's exactly right.
Or whenever we get the email.
We're just 3 former professional wrestlers breaking down The Way Home and Fast and Furious.
We're past our wrestling prime, but we're in our podcast.
That's exactly right. Real quick, I'll share my experience with Fast, and then I'll ask you boys. Yeah. So I am newer to the Fast and the Furious franchise in that I've only seen the most recent 3, I believe, and Hobbs and Shaw.
So after Paul Walker died, you jumped on board.
I jumped on board. Yeah. I believe 8 was the first one that I saw.
Okay.
But I love them. I love the ones I've seen, and I've always heard the first 3 are vastly different movies than what I've come to know and love about the Fast franchise. So I was excited to dive into the first one and see what we got. Ryan, I know you are a fan. I don't know where your fandom began, though.
Yeah, absolutely. I watched all of these out of order. I think I came in. I think the first one I saw was 5, but then I think I skipped to 7. It's all the last ones I watched were these original 3, quite honestly. And
so you were late to the party, like I am.
Very much so. Yeah, I was not a day oneer, and I've honestly only seen, other than a couple of them, all of them only one time. Like I watched this one for the first time a few years ago, and I've only seen it that once. I love what the franchise has become. Obviously, we are here, and I could talk about 5 through 10 all day, and we eventually will about a month or so from now. But those beginning stages, I am not a complete newbie, but I am newer to the party as well. Dano.
I had just graduated high school.
In 2001?
In 2001, in May of 2001. This movie came out in June of 2001. I'm almost positive. Don't quote me on it, but that would be my guess. During that summer, it was competing with another car racing stealing movie called Gone in 60 Seconds with Nick Cage and Angelina Jolie. And I saw it once, and basically, like, the second movie was just, we all laughed about it. And then the third movie, the franchise basically became a joke. Like, it became a joke. And then
it's supposed to be dead.
And then all of a sudden it became what it is now. In fact, it became such a joke that the fourth movie, when it came out in the theater, I did not go to the theater to see it. And then I heard it was this big action thing, and I jumped back on board for 5 and have been on board ever since. But I didn't watch this, but this was the first time I had seen this movie in 22 years.
Wow.
All right, so between the 3 of us, we had only seen this film before twice.
Yes, and
Bran had never seen it. Yeah.
I've seen the rest of them in the last decade for sure. Because when 5 came out, I rewatched. I watched 4 for the first time when 5 came out, and then when 5 came out, I watched 2 and 3 again because I was like, I don't even know if I remember these movies. And
but you didn't watch 1.
I didn't watch 1.
Interesting.
Didn't watch 1. Yeah.
Well, let's
get to in the hot take.
Let's
Brand,
find out why. Guys, before I get any emails, this is a synopsis, okay? I'm not getting into every little thing.
Oh, boy. The fast heads are coming for you.
I know they are.
Fasten your seatbelts.
Bran, like 6-7 weeks from now, I don't even know how you're gonna do it.
I don't know.
I'm 2.5 hours
so this
long.
is my thought process here, Ryan, is I know what's coming and I know I can't. I'm trying to set the precedent of not putting
president.
Yes. Hello, President Fast.
Bad synopsis.
Me and Michelle watched Vin Diesel.
Went with Barack there.
Interesting.
Interesting call. Come on, we're not joking around here.
Just a little.
There's a lot going on. People are coming back from the dead.
I didn't realize that Cameron Matheson and Joe Biden are exactly the same.
People are coming back from the dead, folks. We're not messing around here.
You got Tom. He's going fast. He's got the nos. Unscrew it.
Honey, you got the belly one?
Belly bumpers.
Push nos too.
Push nos too.
And
Line
also,
'em up.
be careful how definitively you say anything.
Yes.
In this, I don't want to spoil anything, but some things that we think are definitive are not in this franchise. So there's that.
All right.
Which is an ongoing, ever evolving
Of course.
thing, by the way.
Yeah.
Well, let's get to it. The Fast and the Furious originally came to a theater near you on June 22nd, 2001. And it went a little something like this. The film kicks off with a heist. There's cars, and they're attacking a truck. And it's hot. It's Fast and Furious, straight from the get-go.
Hope it's not too fast.
No, they're stealing some electronics, portable DVD players.
The good stuff.
The good stuff. Stuff that makes you go, give me that. We then meet Brian. Brian is, I think he's a wannabe car racer. He's kind of hanging around where car racers eat. And he's known for having a heavy foot. He gets into a fight immediately, and he's just trying to eat his sandwich. He's trying to eat his tuna. He really wants to get in good with some street racers. So he soups up his car with all the NOS money can buy and heads to a race. He's twisting knobs. He's going fast and furious. But like all good things, his race comes to an end. His car barely makes it to the finish line, but he's like, listen, I'll get better, I promise. I want to hang out with you. I want to get to know you, Tom. So Brian is driving down the road, and he gets arrested. And you're like, well, I'm like, what's happening here? Why are they arresting this young man, this upstanding citizen? Turns out, he's a cop.
Brian had no idea, Ryan. Like he literally sideswiped by this.
Brian's a cop.
I mean, I guess, by 8, it wouldn't come up. Yeah, by the time you came into the party, that would not have been information you needed.
I didn't need to know that. So yes, I was shocked, okay? And apparently they're doing a big undercover sting investigation operation, all those words, looking into underground street racing squads that may be responsible for stealing the town's supply of portable DVD players. It becomes clear that it is possible that Dom and his crew are involved with the hijacking because they soup up cars. They talk. They do things like that make you go, well, they could be criminals. And so Brian is trying to get to the bottom of this, but here's the thing. It's like, I like these people now. Dom's an okay guy. His sister, like that. So it's like, what do I do about this situation? I'm going to try to figure out any other squad that it could be aside from Dom's squad. So to try to find some information that will either show that Dom's crew is the crew that knew what to do or not the crew, he breaks in to the garage and Dom finds him, and Dom is like, are you a cop? Brian doesn't answer. Dom says, good enough for me. So then they go to find some another squad's garage. Johnny Tramp. And there's electronics there.
Oh, boy.
There's plenty of portable DVD players. And so he's like, well, this is good.
What DVD player isn't portable?
Yeah, but with a screen.
Like one you can watch in your
Okay. All DVD players, you can pretty much...
Yeah, there's none that are built into the surface.
No, you're right. You're right.
Yes.
Portable DVD player plus screen.
Yeah.
How's that?
That's better.
Really really though, if you at that point,
He doesn't know what it would be called.
Everything's portable.
No,
In a sense,
no.
that TV's not portable.
you could take that.
But like, not just you. You couldn't travel with it.
Try and
It's
stop me.
not instantly portable. Like a tree isn't
That's right,
portable.
yes.
You
But
gotta-
a DVD
yeah,
player's
that-
not portable because you have to have it plugged in.
No, usable and portable are very different.
That's not how that
Don't be a
works,
moron.
Brandon.
And don't tell me you hate me because it hurts my feelings.
After you just called
Brand,
me a
don't be a bully.
moron.
Yeah, I said don't be one. I didn't say you were one. I said don't be one.
Well, I am currently being one.
That's what you said it, not me. Cut that. Print it.
Anyway.
Stop the printers.
Stop the printers. Brian tells the police team about all of the DVD players. And then, now that his job is over, he sleeps with Dom's sister. It's all above board.
Yeah.
I found the DVD players. Now we can sleep together. We get a wild montage of the police arresting the rival crew while Dom makes out hard with his girlfriend. And it's all set to, what's the song?
Dope.
Dope by...
Debonair. Dope.
Debonair by Dope. That's
Yes.
exactly right.
Yeah.
It is some sort of...
Did you know that, Ryan?
Oh God.
Okay.
no.
All right. Good.
It was a lot. They were going back and forth. It's like, get your hands up, and then hard make it out with Vin Diesel. So it turns out that Dom and the crew were the thieves, if you can believe
whole
it.
time.
And Brian tells me that he is a cop.
He tells you that?
Is it Maya? Is it Mia?
Mia. You
Dom
just said
said-
tells me.
tells me that he's a cop and that Dom is in trouble because, hey, here's the thing about truckers. When you hijack them a bunch of times, they start to arm themselves with guns. So Dom is in trouble. If they're going to hijack another truck, we gotta go save him. And she's like, well, it's happening now. So she's not happy about the revelation that he is a cop, but what can you do? Gotta save Dom's life. So they go, there's the heist going on, and what do you know? The truckers do indeed have guns now, and there's injuries, and Brian has to call it into, the cops, and he's like, hey, I'm also a cop, I'm calling it in. And that's when Dom realizes that Brian is not who he has claimed that he is, and that he is indeed a cop. Brian then shows up at Dom's place to arrest Dom, but Johnny Tran shows up and just starts shooting impressively badly.
Yes.
And so they just start chasing them, and Johnny Tran ends up dying, and then Brian and Dom race each other because they're men, and that's how you settle your differences, by racing. And it ends with a photo finish.
Yes.
And I think Brian won, personally. If
Dom won the first race, Brian won the second race.
and then
Yes. Everyone's on board with that.
great.
Yeah.
But as they're kind of like looking at each other, like, yeah, can you believe what we just did? We're men. We race.
Hey, yo.
Family. Dom gets hit by a truck. And Brian goes to check on him. He is alive, and so he, instead of calling it in, throws him the keys to his car and then walks away into the sunset. And that, my friends, was the Fast and the Furious. We did do it. We're going to take a
Vroom, vroom.
Vroom Vroom is right. Vroom Vroom to you. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to break this movie down with our 4 segments. You know them. You love them. Here on Deck the Hallmark presents Fast Fridays. Welcome back to Deck the Hallmark presents Fast Fridays, a Fast and Furious rewatch and watch for the first time.
Don't question it. It makes sense if you don't question
That's
it.
exactly right. We're talking about the
Merry
first
Christmas.
We're talking. We're the first to wish you a vroom vroom.
Vroom, vroom.
So this is the first one, 2001. Let's break it down. Let's start with our hot take. It is where we rev our engines and share exactly how we felt about this movie. Ryan, you in?
If you're not on file, you're missing Brand doing a lot of pantomiming this episode. Yeah. This guy's crushing it. So
I think you mean I'm
Dan,
crushing it. Oh, go back to me. Go back to me. Go back to me.
Go to Brand.
I think
go to
you
Brand.
mean I'm crushing it.
So
Okay, you go. You go.
Yeah. So Dan and I are, both co-conspirators in making this happen for sure. Brand was the one who needed his arm twisted. I may have been, at least at the very beginning, slightly ahead of Dan. It was neck and neck, much like the races. It was neck and neck. But
Brian won the first race. Dan won the second race.
Yeah. So it's with all of that said that I feel pretty bad saying that I don't think this film is particularly very good.
Don't worry, Ryan. Don't worry, Ryan, because you're gonna have some good company. I'm just letting you know. Don't want to spoil it. You're gonna have some good company. Go for it.
Don't want to spoil it.
I promise this. I promise this wasn't like a long con.
I was a pun because it's a spoiler. Like
on Cars.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ryan. Whenever you're ready.
I promise this wasn't like a long con for me to do 10 weeks of films that I don't think are good. We'll get there. A lot in this movie does not age well, so there's that, right? So I mean, like, both kind of just PC wise, but also just it's a very 2001 movie in every sense of the imagination. In some ways, this may be more ridiculous than what came later. In some ways, we can dive in on that maybe later. There's things that are cool. It's fascinating to think that this Genesis that will carry through 2 and 3, although those are drastically different films than even this one, this Genesis becomes what it's now become, which is why we're here. And those parallels are going to be interesting to track. An example of that is they really figure out how to use Michelle Rodriguez later. Yep. Not very much here. There's seeds planted here, but she is such a talent. And they did not have that code cracked yet. I love, unironically, that family is ingrained even in this film. That made me happy that it was there from the start. Other than the action set pieces, which I enjoyed, I thought the film was a bit of a slog until Brian and Mia kind of understand what's going on. And then that last bit is very electric. Ultimately, I honestly think this may go down as the least interesting of the 10. I'll let you know in 2 months, I guess. But not a terrible film, but not one that I would watch for a good time on my own accord. If you gave me the 10 to choose from, I would probably put this near the back of the list. Right.
Well, yeah, currently this one is first and last on my list. I'm going in with a fresh list, no entries. So this is first and last, and I imagine it will probably end up last. Would be my guess. I didn't love it. Didn't really like it all that much. I will say the ending sequence, from the race day time to the revelation that he's a cop through the end is fine. Everything else is pretty awful in a lot of different ways. But you know what I always say is life is a highway. Dan?
Great. That was really good. I don't really know how to go after that. The Rye guy. The Rye guy and I were really Lightning McQueen. Is that you?
Yeah.
What are you doing here, buddy?
Oh wow.
We're not covering any of the Pixar Cars films. No. It's just Fast and the Furious.
But I'm awesome. I'm fast.
Are you Joe Biden doing Lightning McQueen?
Ka-chow. Build back better.
Are you messing around here?
I'm not messing around here. Oh, wow.
All right. Anything else from you, Lightning? Are you good?
God bless.
All right. God bless. Yeah, absolutely.
Cars 4 of Lightning running for office is going to be
it's going to be awesome. The Rye guy and I worked really hard to make this a thing. This movie's trash. It's not good. These two fellows were kind to this movie. There is one race scene, the second race scene between Dom and Brian, that is exhilarating. The rest of this movie's trash. Not just the fact that it doesn't hold up. It wasn't even the best car racing movie of the summer of 2001. And I say that.
And June 2001 was special.
And I don't know when the other one may have been in May. I'm not sure.
Built different.
The thing is that I've not seen this movie in 22 years, and I always held it as the best of the original 3 because the original 3 are so much different than the next 7 movies. And I'm going to have to rethink that because you might have seen the grains of family in here, but Dom is out here basically going, the only thing I care about is a quarter mile of racing. Like he says that. Also, I'm so happy that they got through this movie and the next 2 to figure out not just how to use Michelle Rodriguez, how to use Vin Diesel, who in this movie feels as though he's being paid by the enunciation. He literally is pronouncing to the fullest effect every single word he says. All of them get their own due and their own spotlight. It's tough to watch. It's like the rest of the family, aside from is it Jordana Brewster? Is that his sister's name? Yeah. Aside from her, the rest of the family is a bunch of no-name McClanes, just a bunch of people that are like, who's that guy? What's he doing? Why is he here? And they're all bad actors to kind of make Vin look better. Now, Vin can stare all day and does action scenes well, but Vin has worked his way into the role of Dom, and he just isn't there yet. The movie doesn't have anything to pull for or against. It is loosely strung together with a point break plot. Yeah, it's not a good. I would not choose to watch this really under any other circumstance. I couldn't believe how bad it was. I thought I was going to be pleasantly surprised by how good it was, but I can't believe it got a sequel. Kind of glad it did, because if I had seen this, I'd been like, I'm never watching another one of these, which I think is kind of how I felt in 2001, oddly enough.
Okay.
So there's that.
Let's get to all the feels, which is where we'll share any fast feels that we have. And if you don't have any, just answer the question, is this movie better than Cars? Ryan?
Yeah, no way.
No,
it's better than Cars 2.
No.
Especially not Cars for President.
Yeah, Cars for President, no brainer. No brainer.
Yeah. I have two. About 11 minutes in, they played Rollin' by Limp Bizkit for about 15 seconds. And I have a new rule that if Rollin' by Limp Bizkit plays in any film I cover for this podcast for the rest of time, it goes in my all the feels. So that's locked in.
You and Brian was watching this with us, and he just went into one of the verses. I'm like, "You're so cool, buddy!" Like that was.
Brian knows. He put his red Yankee hat on backwards.
He certainly did.
Fred Durst made the Yankee hat more famous.
How
than
dare
the Yankee
you?
hat,
How dare you, sir?
And then my other one, and this was a crazy blending of worlds for me specifically. I rarely make it about me, but when Dom arrives to the first street race thing, he and the family are literally in the flying V.
Yes,
you can't make
this
stuff
that was
up.
mine.
You can't make this
Ryan, I literally said.
No.
I have a new goal in life, which is to do a flying V with Cars.
And he said that, and I was like, Brand, we can do that right now. And then I realized we were one car away, and we were like, we got to fly you down. Ryan Pappolla when you need him? We had 4 cars here. We just need 5, and we could take it to that empty parking lot over there by 2nd and Charles.
Can you imagine if you were here, we recorded that for the socials to announce the first episode of Fast Fridays?
Yeah,
that would have
in that crushed in that rented Kia Soul. I mean, come on, dude.
Wow, I didn't remember what we were driving.
How do you forget?
Of course. It'd have been a Nissan Rogue, a Nissan Leaf, a Kia Soul, an F-150, and a Jeep Grand Cherokee in a flying V. I mean, tell me that's not, that's Vlog Central.
Brand, where do you want to be in the V? Head of the V, middle of the V, bringing up the rear? Have you thought about this?
Listen, I'm not picky.
It all depends on what the cars are. Yeah. It's got to look symmetrical with the car. That's all that matters. Yeah, like if those are the 5 cars, my truck would have to be in the front because of how big it is, and then it would have to go. You see, and then it would have to go Rogue and Grand Cherokee, and then Soul and Leaf. That's how it would have to go. If it was I
can't wait till Bramblefest next year.
Yeah.
When we do this.
Dude. Man. Dude, does it have to wait till then? Can we get you down here for the marathon, maybe?
We can talk.
Yeah, okay, let's talk off air. This is important stuff. I know the bumps on Twitch, but this is important stuff. Okay?
The bumps on Twitch.
Live.
Other places as well. Brand, those were mine.
We've done mine.
What?
And Cars is better. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Cars.
The original Cars is better than this film. No question about it. I didn't really have any other feels. I was very disappointed.
Well, I had feels, I guess, when Dom picked her up. I had lots of feels in regards to in regards to like just women.
Oh, listen.
I had a lot of
the reason they don't know how to use Michelle Rodriguez right is because they don't know how to use any of the women right except to use them.
Yes.
That's the problem with the film, and that's that I actually in my head, I was like, this movie's going to feature no less than a dozen start at the feet and work its way up the female body shots. And there was only maybe 8 or 9 instead of a dozen. And I thought there would be over a dozen, but it's pretty brutal. Yeah.
Stuff out there. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back with the Wait What's and the Fast or Furious here on Deck the Hallmark.
Deck the Hallmark.
Presents
Vroom,
Fast
vroom.
and Vroom. Ryan, vroom vroom to you. Dan,
Vroom, vroom to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Vroom, vroom.
Thank you.
you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Ryan.
Thanks.
Let's get to the Wait What's, where we talk about what in this movie made us go, wait, what? Ryan?
Paul Walker wanted no crust on his tuna sandwich.
Yeah.
Can you say no crust after the age of 8? Like if you're a grown cop, can you go to a
You're
diner?
talking to Brandon Gray here, who probably has done that since well after 8.
No, I'd fine with crust.
I don't love crust, but I'm not going to ask for an establishment to take it off in the year 2023. Like, it's like, I just want to eat the crust,
Yeah.
gotta-
Listen, I'm not a monster. I'm not going to make you do extra
Oh, man,
work.
people are going to say I'm bullying
Yeah.
Grant. Oh, God. Oh, God.
No, that's it. Nothing we could do. Somebody leave a 5-star review and just say, I just hate how Ryan bullies everybody.
Yeah.
The Dream for 3000 officially dead. So at one point, help me understand this. I'm not the smartest guy, as we all know. They call me Hector. I got a last name too, but I can't pronounce it, so ellipsis was the sentence. What did I miss there, Dan?
Nothing. Just bad writing and acting is all you missed there. Real bad.
I don't rewind things. I rewound that because I was so perplexed.
Yeah, more than fair.
I didn't understand. You can't. All right, so someone's talking to Brian. You can't just climb in the ring with Ali because you think you can box. Brian then says, that guy over there, he knows I can box. Brian had just got his ass kicked by this guy for 75% of their scrap. And he's like, I float like a butterfly, 2 more. Mia asks Brian out for a date at Friday night at 10 o'clock. This is the most unrealistic thing in all 10 films. It's not like it was not like there was a prior engagement for one or both of them. She runs a diner. It's not a 24-hour place, as best we've been made aware. Why are they going out this
there
late?
may or may not. We're not here to spoil anything. We're going to take this one week at a time. There may or may not in this franchise be a sports car in space. I would be in that car before I ate dinner at 10 p.m. on a Friday night. No way, no how. Are you kidding me? Dinner at 10 p.m.? These are grown adults.
They're not going to have the Cinnabon cheesecake till like
That's
1
right.
a.m.
Yeah.
No, but listen, 10 p.m. is reserved for cheesecake. It's reserved for food
That's
that
right.
I like, a snack before bed.
Yes.
That's what it's reserved for, not
Sandwich, no
dinner.
crust.
I was going to go to Belly Whoppers, but I've overdone it.
Belly the belly whoppers.
10 p.m.
You'll spoil your
Dom's
dinner.
last one. Dom's response to being accused of being a snitch is to violently attack the man who has accused him of being a snitch, thus making him look the most suspicious and guilty as humanly
That's right.
possible.
Yeah.
And that's how we
yeah.
set. That's how we set the tone for the rest of the franchise.
course.
Those are my Wait What's for Fast Fridays presented by Brandon and Ryan on.
Thank
The
you.
Hallmark presents Fast Fridays, presented by Brandon and Ryan on
Presented
the
by
Hallmark
Philo.
on Philo.
Presented by-
Was presented by Philo.
I've heard it both. But yes.
So there's a party or 2 or 3 in this movie, and at one of them, I don't remember which one, Mia, there's a bit of a fight that's beginning to break up, or they're arguing or something, and she yells, "Shut the F!"
That's all she says.
No, shut the F up. No, nothing else. Just shut the F, which I love that. I have just a dozen questions about the police's secret house hiding spot.
Oh my gosh.
The layout is bonkers to me. There's a
kitchen is
kitchen
a mile long and 2 feet wide.
and it's like, hey, let's line the walls with kitchen around. Like, it's like, what is shape is the house? I'm not really sure. But my biggest question is, this police hideout also comes equipped with all you can drink lattes out of glass mugs. Apparently, they are going nuts in there with these glass mugs. There's there's just like
custom cappuccinos.
Just
on the job.
get whatever you want. It's just this place is out of control. It's just too much. It's just too much. So at one point, Brian pulls up in his green race car at a stoplight, and there's a rich guy in his little, I don't know, whatever that is. And Brian's like, what's up? You want to race? And how much you got in that car? And the fancy business guy is like, more than you can afford. And I'm just like, Brian's driving a literal race car.
That's right.
You don't know how much he can afford.
That's right.
More than you can afford, as he looks at his custom paint job on this car that's all souped up. There's just like 100,000 plus and NOS in there. More than you can afford. I'm a businessman. Last but not least, guys, we got to talk about the shooting aim. This is probably going to be in every movie, but the shooning aim.
It's the worst I've ever seen here. This drive-by is absurd. They were trying not to hit him.
It's offensive. Yeah. It's offensive to, and not to mention Dom, instead of hiding or, just getting on the ground, what he decides to do is get his body on all fours,
bear walks,
making it to where it's elongated. So it's like, here's a bigger target and just follow me along.
Like this.
And he still manages to miss them.
Maybe he was already superhuman, even in film one.
Wow.
They're like,
it's something to think about. Unbelievably a bad shooting job. Does Johnny Tran come back?
Johnny Tran, no comment.
Okay. Because he's dead.
No comment.
Okay.
Dan spoils space car and race car in space. Johnny Trent, no comment. No comment.
Some things are sacred. Some things are sacred.
I said there may or may not be a race car in space.
Yeah, allegedly.
And you know what? Some of what I said isn't true there. So
fair enough. That's semantics, but yes, okay.
So anyway,
you can't actually race that car.
My big wait what is that family is not first for Dom in this movie, which all we know about Fast and the Furious, if you've not seen it, it's Vin Diesel saying the word family like his life depends upon it. And in this movie, he continually goes out on his own, continually talks about how somebody murdered his dad, and the only thing that matters to him is getting in a car and racing. It's not about family, it's about racing. And the fact that they were able to do a 180 on that is great. But in this movie, that was the biggest is Dom does not care about family like he does in the rest of, at least in 4 to 10. And that was a big deal. Hey, the one thing I did learn from this movie is that car racing depends on one thing and one thing only. When you decide to hit the NOS button. That's it. If you hit the NOS button first, you're last. If you hit the NOS button last, you're first. That is the only thing you need to know about racing on the streets.
I've learned.
Yeah, you just got to wait.
Yeah.
See when somebody hits their NOS button and then hit yours. The makers of this movie in 2001 made the decision to name the thing that this movie is culminating with the Race Wars.
Yeah.
The what? They're all...
I hadn't put it together, believe I watched this on a pretty busy day.
They're gearing up.
What do we call it?
For the Race Wars.
Anyone got any ideas?
The race day?
No.
The speed zone.
It's got to be more intense.
What about what about Race Wars?
Yeah.
Daryl, it's 2001. Our history of the last 100 years, maybe not. No. People are, this is going to age really well. This is going to be the moment where people realize we were past it. Race Wars?
It's Race Wars.
Come on, guys. Race Wars.
Hey, Tom, I'll see you at Race Wars.
That is unbelievable. I'll see it. I'll catch you later at Race Wars.
We'll grab a bite at Race Wars.
And when I see you at the cage at Race Wars, brother,
Oh man.
Yeah, that was something. And
I
then
drive with a black guy though, so it's fine.
yeah, that's right. I know. Like,
I get
some
it.
of my friends at Race Wars are black. so I did not realize that this was also a Left Behind sequel because the LA traffic is non-existent.
Yeah.
They are racing through Los Angeles, California, and you don't see a car for 10 straight blocks in the middle of the day in this movie. 10 blocks, no cars. Everyone has been raptured but Dom and Brian driving past a train that has gone loose and rogue because the conductor is gone. This movie is
Rapture's going to rapture.
You can't explain to me why no one else is driving the streets of Los Angeles for 10 straight blocks, aside from the fact that the rapture has happened. That's the only thing that we could possibly make work here.
Yeah, well,
that's all I got.
After the race wars. It's time for Fast or Furious, the part of the show where we definitively state whether or not we're Fast or Furious. Ryan.
I'm going to go with fast this week because I think Dan's answer specifically will be very fast to this question, which is, Dan, I heard what you had to say earlier. Was Vin Diesel a better actor in 2001?
No. But
there we go. It was pretty fast.
What's weird is that I think he was a better actor in 1998. I honestly think the only role that Vin Diesel has ever really, truly immersed himself in is Saving Private Ryan. And in Saving Private Ryan, he's not good. He's great in that movie. Wow. He did a movie Sidney Lumet directed called Find Me Guilty, where he plays a dude who he wears a wig. He plays this Italian mobster who's defending himself in court. That movie's got some good moments in it.
Well, the Pacifier.
But then you've got Pacifier, 10 Fast and Furious movies. Well, he's only a little bit in Tokyo Drift, but basically 10 Fast and Furious movies.
And Groot.
The Groot, yeah, there's a real stretch. You got the Pitch Black movies.
Yeah, Chronicles of Riddick. He did Triple X.
Yeah, a lot of these movies is just him, like every word's a personal challenge. And I don't know what's happening there, but I don't know if he's a better actor or if he understands what he's supposed to do as Dom later on.
Well, that's fair. That's fair because I want to make it clear. I prefer Dom from 4 through 10.
Yes.
So I'm not saying I preferred this Dom perform. Even trying harder here wouldn't be the right way to put it. But there was a noticeable, there was no more effort. But maybe Dom is effortless.
Well, and I would say this: they don't. Once they get that family piece locked in place, then Vin Diesel and the guy's worth $1 billion. I'm not here to take cheap shots at Vin Diesel. I'm just saying that piece is his life raft as an actor, because he looks kind of like a turtle now, but all he has to do is say family, and you believe that that's Dom, and he's the patriarch of this, former crime syndicate, now undercover government, whatever. So he's better now. He has to be.
Agreed. So that answers the question.
I'm going Furious this week. I'm reminded that I never had a portable DVD player in my car growing up, despite always wanting one. Yeah. I now know that it's. Ride? I now know that's exactly right. I would have had so many TVs. I now know the reason I didn't have one is because these two they were all stolen in garages.
You weren't a street racer,
and so I'm furious. Dan,
also furious, but furious that I believe Brian doesn't understand how Vin Diesel has money. And that's the dumbest thing about this movie. He accuses Vin Diesel of stealing the stuff that's actually in Vin Diesel's car. What do you think happens when he wins all those races, Brian? What do you think happens then? Do you think he wins just bragging rights?
Arby's gift cards,
he's making money. He's making money by winning these races. That's how he soups up. And then he wins cars. He takes the best parts of those cars. He sells the rest, junks the rest, and he soups up his car. Come on, you dummy. Furious.
Oh, damn bullying, Dan.
You're very close.
At least I bullied just a fictional character. You bullied Bran, and he's real. He's flesh and blood, Ryan.
I don't even remember what I bullied Brand about, but you're right. It did happen earlier. And
we did, everybody. The first Fast and Furious is in the books. We like to end each Fast Fridays with a driver of the week. You can submit your own driver of the week at hello@deckthehallmark.com. Dan, we already have so many submissions for driver of the week, but who do we have this week?
Ooh, we do. This is James Stuffy McGee.
Ooh,
Stuffy.
James Stuffy McGee.
He's from Tampa.
The old
He's from Tampa, Florida, and he said big rigs roll or die. And I don't know what that means.
Big rigs roll or die.
But I think you do.
Right.
Yes, I do. Well, Stuffy McGee, and Ryan, you know this too, but Stuffy McGee, he drove to and fro, back and forth in his big rig, no less than 300 times over the course of 1 year. He's the only one to do that.
That's right.
And people thought that it was maybe one too many, too many. But he said big rigs roll or die.
Yes, that's right.
as a rebuttal to people who said that there was one
and it's what's
too
on his
many.
Tombstone to this
It
day.
is. He did die doing it.
It's why I have that plaque in my bathroom that says the
Big
same
rig.
thing.
R.I.P. Stuffy, obviously.
He died doing what he loved, though, which was going to and fro one too many times. So you can submit your own driver of the week.
Driver of the week can't still be
hello@deckthehallmark.com.
alive. I want to be clear.
Yes.
For future drivers of the
I
week,
like that
they
doing-
can't be alive. This one happened to be deceased. Coincidence.
I like that. What he loved doing was driving to and fro one too many times. Wasn't driving to and fro. He
You
liked
can't
driving
make this
to
stuff
and fro.
up. You can't make it up, Ryan.
It's in the books.
What a legend.
It's in the driver's book. Yes, preferably alive moving forward. But again, we're not gonna.
No, there's nothing we can do.
hello@hallmark.com to put in your request.
That's
for
right.
driver of the week. Next week's movie is
Too Fast, Too Furious.
Too Fast, Too Furious. It is
Tyrese.
what?
Luda and Tyrese.
Tyrese.
Yes.
We'll get the first Tyrese.
And
I think,
Luda, yeah.
We're gonna get him on the pod,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, we'll have
Get
both
Tyrese
of
on
them.
the pod,
Both of them
right?
will be here next week.
Yes. All right. Well, we'll be back next time with another one. Until then, maybe we're the first to wish you a vroom vroom.
Merry Christmas. Deck the Hallmark's a Bramble Jam podcast is produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.